Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on America's soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
What's up, everybody? Welcome. Thanks for tuning into my show. I'm the American Anchor Baby. Thanks for joining me today. 12 o'clock here, 12:06, whatever. Jesse's out. That's my excuse. But we're here, American Anchor Baby. Be getting into some stuff. It'll be, shall I take a term from another host, a competitor. It's going to be loosey-goosey. It's a loosey-goosey Monday. I got some videos I want to play. Shout out to White History Month. We'll do a little commentary, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and your calls, 888-775-3773. We're just hanging out a little bit today, mildly late. Is Hake going to host the show for Nick? What the? Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining me on Friday for the flight. Anybody who missed their flight, well, you should have been there earlier. You know, these flights, they leave and they leave you behind, and there's nothing you can do. Okay? So join me next Friday. We'll be doing more flights. Of course, it was fun what we did Friday. We hung out. So thanks for everyone that joined and all that. Right? Welcome, everybody. I see some super chats. Thank you for the support. BA with the super chat says, did American Anchor Baby popularize glizzy for TikTok NPC trend? If you don't know what TikTok NPC is, it will make you dumber. Yeah, we've covered this. We've definitely covered the TikTok NPC mess. I don't think I popularized glizzy, though. But I may have been hitting that algorithm. I don't know about you guys, but does it ever feel like, have you guys ever felt like the world revolves around you? I know it sounds egotistical, but hold on. Things that I've become aware of, maybe it's just confirmation bias, right? But things I become aware of, I suddenly see all over in the world. Now everybody's calling them glizzies because I did. It's probably confirmation bias. You know what I'm saying? But thank you for the super chat there, BA. It's a mess. You got to respect some of the hustle, right? Because there's people paying money to get people to act the way they act on TikTok. How low will you go? How low will society go? Do you guys know anybody on Twitter? You guys messing around on Twitter? You guys on Twitter? It's now X. What do you call it? X.com? Like, is it Twitter.com, but it's like an X? Or are they just still slowly rebranding? If you don't know what I'm talking about, Twitter.com, now owned by Elon Musk, been at the center of that censorship fight. Free speech this, censor that, and it's been a fight if you haven't been paying attention. And Twitter has become a little bit freer, just a little bit freer thanks to Elon Musk. It seems like that to me. Not everybody's back on Twitter, though. Not everybody banned, okay? People, what? Is Alex Jones back? I think Alex Jones is even back and not, there's some people who are missing. Nick Fuentes comes to mind. Is Alex Jones back on Twitter? Anyways. So is it really free speech? Anyways. It's I don't know if it's becoming X.com. What's the change? But even right now, you go on Twitter, you see the X, and they're rebranding. Okay, Elon Musk is flying in a different direction, according to TMZ, right? X, Twitter CEO, posted a message to his social media announcing the huge makeover that will bring the company into a new phase. Musk wrote, "And soon we shall bid adieu to the Twitter brand and gradually all the birds." In a second post, Musk added the X logo could soon be unveiled if he finds an emblem suited to his taste. Okay? But why? Why? Elon Musk has said that he plans, what he wants Twitter to become is an everything app, okay? Everything app, X. Let me get you the report. Like I said, loosey-goosey, I'm doing my Googles. I'm doing some of my Googles as I'm talking to you. Usually I've already done my Googles. Have you been doing your Googles? Have you been doing your Googles? I want to talk about that in a moment here. Have you been doing your niggles? What's that? What the heck did you just say, Nick? We'll get to that later. Someone's been doing their Googles. Anyways, Twitter rebrands to X. And like I said, Elon Musk's plan is to make it an everything app. What does that mean? To be an app where you do your banking, your purchasing, your social media. Okay? Everything app. Let me see if I can find more info on this. Tech billionaire Elon Musk. They say don't they say he's the richest? Don't they say Elon Musk is the richest? Who is the richest man on earth, Google? Mirror, mirror on the wall. Google, Google in the cloud. Who's the richest man of all? I actually typed who's the richest man of all. Who's the richest man in the world? They say Elon, no? Is that true? Would they tell us would those who had all the money want us to know who had all the money? I'm getting conspiratorial. Calm down. People express, this is in The Independent, people express disbelief as, this is I literally just Googled this, and this is what I was just thinking. People express disbelief as Elon Musk reclaims title of the world's richest person. Maybe Google's listening. Maybe Google is listening as I Google. Is that possible, or is that conspiratorial? I think all of you have experienced similar situations where you're thinking, or you're talking about something, or you've Googled one thing and now you're fed with ads of that thing. Well, that's not that weird, right? You Googled it. But some people report just talking about it. Some people report just talking about it and then getting served ads on the very thing they spoke on. Whoa. You know what? I had a similar situation, I have to say. How should I say this? I was working at a place, and an employee at this place expressed wanting to acquire software in an illegal manner. You know, the pirate kind of manner. And they said that out loud, and lo and behold, I was served an ad that very day, and it said, "Are your coworkers using illegal software? Rat them out, and you can get a little kickback." Yeah. I'm reporting that happened. Telling me to rat them out. The ad didn't say rat them out, right? It just said, report them, and we'll pay you for reporting them for using pirated software. No pirated software was used. Okay, Google, CIA, FBI, Apple, X, and the all-seeing algorithm. Okay? So calm down. So X is becoming an everything app, okay? And there already exist apps like this, in fact. Not in America, not in the same way as an everything app. Okay? Now, I want to define for you everything app a little bit further here. X will be the platform that can deliver, well, ... everything, says Linda Yaccarino, who I believe is, what is she? She's working with X, with Twitter.com, okay? She's working there. She's like a big name there. I forget what she does. And so that's what they want to do. Banking, everything. Everything app. There is another app, you may have heard of this. It's called WeChat. You ever heard of WeChat? Matthew in the chat says, CCP Twitter. Snitches get stitches. Nick doesn't have loose lips. Hey, I'll just leave it at that, okay? Shout out the Pirate Bay. Let me just say, let me get back to this. Matthew says, CCP Twitter. You might not be that far off, Matthew, because there is an app in China called WeChat. Okay, WeChat. Can anyone confirm in the chat? Do we have any Chinese people in the chat that know what I'm talking about? Because I'm going to show you a clip and stuff. But I'm not in China. I don't have the app. And I don't know how ubiquitous this app is. But according to the reports I've seen, this app, WeChat, is essential to everyday life in China. People make their purchases with it. They communicate with each other and all sorts of stuff. I think even like the Hong Kong protesters stuff got talked about in WeChat. Or was that just Twitter? Is Twitter just the domestic terrorist platform? What's up, Lord Bibby? What's up, everybody, you guys? Pete, George, Jordan, Ivana, hey, Carlota, and everybody else. So, WeChat. Can anyone confirm if it really is that essential?
It's time to switch to Verizon.
Totally essential to Chinese everyday life? Because that seems like what Elon Musk wants to do. If you don't know what I'm talking about here, let's watch some of this clip here and get an understanding a little bit on the moves, the great moves in the great game made by the big players that will shape our daily life, maybe. Okay, so it's not that insignificant. Not this. This is a Verizon ad. No, I don't want to give. No, Verizon has not paid me, so you're not allowed to, even though I'm advertising for them. No, Verizon, go away. Video will play after ad. Hold on, y'all. Here's the report from CNBC. WeChat and how essential it is to everyday life in China. Okay? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Let's watch this footage.
Welcome back to Squawk Box. Last week, the president signed an executive order that would effectively ban WeChat in the United States. The app is extremely popular, as you know, in China and for American companies that do business in China. Eunice Yoon joins us now with a closer look. Eunice.
So already, you're understanding China has their super app, WeChat, okay? And it's been banned in America. WeChat banned in America. WeChat ban. This is from 2020. This is 2020. So this is a banned app in America. Now, we can't have this Chinese app becoming an everything app for all people and banking and doing everything on one app. We can't do that. We need to do that ourselves. We can't let China do it. We got to do that ourselves.
Thanks so much, Andrew. Well, Chinese media have been running a poll asking if the ban is imposed, would you choose your Apple iPhone or WeChat? And so far, 94% said that they would choose WeChat because it's so essential to their daily lives. In fact, one business executive compared it to me, saying that it was like water or electricity.
Like water or electricity. Now, I don't know if they're exaggerating, right? Take it with a grain of salt.
If you're living in China, it's almost impossible to survive without WeChat. It's a super app.
I have to say, I've watched 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 and Lao Wai, two expatriates, one left South Africa, one left America, to go live in China. And they confirm, I've seen their videos and I'm now remembering that they say WeChat's quite essential.
People use it to pay for their taxi ride to work and their morning cup of coffee. I can also sort all my utility bills, shop, and message a friend about my purchase. And I even use WeChat to prove I'm in good health amid the pandemic by scanning a health code.
Whoa, we got, remember this? That was 2020, guys. That wasn't even that long ago. The world went crazy, and we had to get our QR codes to enter places. In some places, right?
I don't have WeChat. He says I can't go in.
WeChat has an estimated 700 million users in China, so it's important for any business here, too.
American fast food chain Shake Shack opened its first restaurant in Beijing today and launched a marketing campaign on the platform. Not only do companies advertise directly to customers on the app, they open stores. Marketing firm 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 estimates up to 40% of a company's sales for China go through WeChat.
That's interesting. 700 million users, huh? They say it's a they say that Twitter's user base is around 300 million, I believe. 400 million, according to some reports. 300 million, 400 million is Twitter's user base, okay? WeChat's 700 million. Does that seem low? What's China's population? Because, wow, 1.3 billion. And I believe Facebook's user base is like no way. It says 3 billion. Some of these reports are saying 2 billion, 3 billion. So Facebook beats out WeChat and Twitter. That's why this whole Threads thing, you know, if you don't know, Threads is Facebook's version of Twitter, okay? And it's supposed to be the clean Twitter. That's how it was advertised. This one's where it's going to be nicer. This is going to be a nicer Twitter, meaning no fun, meaning no truth. But according to Backlinko, Yahoo, we're talking about roughly 2.9 billion active users on Facebook, okay? Oh, dang. So who's the bigger consolidation of who are the real commies? Are the Chi-coms learning from the capitalists, the commie capitalists here in America, or what? What's going on? Who's leading the way here? I thought don't we get that from the conservatives and the GOP? China's a big deal, guys. China's a big old communist deal, and we got to deal with them. They're enemies. Last I heard, Facebook was an American company, right? Am I right? Okay. I find this kind of interesting. Whatever. Loosey-goosey. Let's keep going.
Big reason why U.S. companies fear a WeChat ban would put them at a serious disadvantage in China against their competitors, despite the privacy concerns. And of course, there are privacy concerns. Politically sensitive content is monitored on the platform, as well as all platforms in China. But when I speak to businesses here, Andrew, most people say that there's a certain assumption that whatever they write is not private. And they say that that's not necessarily only for WeChat, but for pretty much every platform that they use. At the same time, it is something that they do watch, but not something that they think should be a hindrance to their businesses here.
Now, I believe the WeChat ban from 2020 was talked about with the Trump administration here, according to Washington Post, that it was the Trump administration saying, according to Washington Post, that they pose an alleged national security concern, which may be true, right? We saw Chinese companies in the last few years revealed that cellular companies like Huawei were spying on Americans, at least according to our media, right? So, do we want a Chinese app? Everybody using the Chinese everything app? No. We want our own everything app. And I find this interesting because you'll hear different reasonings for this kinds of stuff. It reminds me of the TikTok ban, okay? And Biden going for that. And American government trying to ban TikTok. And and if you don't remember, the whole TikTok ban included huge overreach from the government with the internet and all that. They would have basically give them the power to. It would ban, like, for example, the usage of all VPNs in America. It would outlaw that. It was way more than just a TikTok ban. And so they'll give different reasons, right? They'll give different reasons. The government will give different reasons. And I find it interesting because they'll say out of one side of their mouth, they'll say, well, we got to ban it because of privacy and all this, but then turn around and want to do the very same thing, okay? And I'm not saying X or Twitter.com is part of the government, but don't think for a second the government wants to ban TikTok or WeChat because they disagree with what they're doing. No, they just want to be the ones to do it. Someone's got to do it, right? It should be us. But yeah, it's just grand moves. It's just moves. It's all moves to. There's a war for your attention, for your mind, okay, and it's all just moves in that game that will shape our lives, really. Is WeChat mark of the beast? Is an everything app the mark of the beast? Some of you in the chat are saying. Is that the mark of the beast? I don't know. If there's a mark of the beast, we probably already took it. We don't know what that is, honestly. I'm just making a joke there. My real take on that is we don't really know what that is. So speculating on what the mark of the beast is, well, I don't know. I don't think you know. Base Nation with the Rumble rant over there on Rumble. It's a party on Rumble. I see where some of you are. You're over there on Rumble. Nice. Thanks for joining me there. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. He says Alpha Bucks, not Beta Bucks. Thanks for the support. Very nice. Will you guys use the Everything app? The convenience, guys. You could buy everything on the Everything app. And we trust Elon, right? We trust Elon to give us the Everything app. It's hard to trust anyone or anything these days, huh? Isn't that true? Oh, well. WeChat, 666, Google, Meta. That's how it goes. So I'm seeing you guys in the chat. Shout out, get a job. I must do the same. Please hit up. I believe he has a second channel. Get a second job. Let me look it up. Get a second job. Yeah, get a 2ND job. It is a channel that you can go and subscribe to right now. His previous channel was deleted at 99.2K subs by YouTube. Get a Job's always done great work, so thank you for that. And thanks for keeping it up with a second channel. Hit him up. It's wild. They literally, I guess it's loosey-goosey, right? I get to show you what I want. Okay, check this out. This is what they banned Jessie compilations. They delete a compilation channel like Get a Job, which is compilations of Jesse's videos, great moments, funny moments, deep moments where he's helping people, putting out the truth, and that gets shadow banned and everything. And this is what they allow on YouTube. Okay? Let me show you something weird. Just weird. Do you guys know who Moist Critical is? Moist Critical, his YouTube channel is Penguin Zero, okay? His name is Charlie. He's got a YouTube channel where he does lightweight commentary on stuff, cultural moments. Nothing really that spicy, honestly. He does gaming content, funny stuff. His audience is I'd say young. They're really young. They're they're young, and he makes memes and stuff. He'll put out gaming videos. He put out a little Barbie review, and that's pretty much his content. He'll play a video and be like, "Oh, that's crazy." Nothing really that spicy. Nothing groundbreaking takes. I wouldn't say, right? Nothing that special. Moist Critical, Penguin Zero, and any of you true YouTubers out there, by that I mean people who have been on YouTube and frequent the website and watch videos. You guys don't know who I'm talking about. He's been on this platform for a long time, making this funny videos, young demographic, nothing really groundbreaking, shocking takes that I would say are truly spicy or really that truthful, okay? Viral memes, okay? And he put out a music video. And I know others have talked about this, but it fits what I've been saying here. And there's this weird music video he put out. Oh, no, I don't even think I could play it. It's so filthy. The lyrics are so filthy. I can't even play this for you, in fact. But it's so weird. Oh, man. Now I'm remembering just how filthy. The song name is Filthy. And it's like worshiping women, talking about worshiping women's body parts, literal worshiping of women's body parts, as in the video one of his characters is prostrate on his knees, worshiping women. This is Charlie here. Why it's so weird? Because look, I have to kind of show you a little bit here. He's rolling up a J. Okay, and I'm not, it's very vulgar, okay? It's very sexual, like really out there. Like, we got a pentagram here in the back. You see that pentagram? He's got an upside down cross on his face. I'm not doing it justice since I really just don't even want to put out the lyrics. It's 12 o'clock, guys. People are eating their lunch, okay? But you would understand maybe a little bit more if I did play it. But he's got an upside down cross on his head here. Talking about fornicating. That's like a scientific word, right? And it's just so out there. Like, this is what they allow on YouTube. That's my point here. They'll ban Get a Job. They'll allow this guy on YouTube talking about this stuff to children. And it also doesn't make sense for his content. Why is this guy putting this out there? This doesn't make sense. Just make your dumb jokes. Just go and make your little silly meme jokes. Just go and make your silly meme jokes and keep making your millions of views and money. I'd say this is almost even off-putting for some of your audience. It doesn't make logical sense. So anyways, it just doesn't make sense. Like, it's like, anyways, like, who made you do this? Charlie? It's not right. Wink if you need help, Charlie. Okay, where was I? So yeah, they get a job, man. Hit them up. Get a second job. Did we talk about everything on the Everything app? Are we done with the Everything app thing? I think so. I do think so. Speaking of birds and bird apps that are no longer birds. What are you guys saying in the chat? That's who Charlie is. Hey, Charlie is a somewhat high, except I wouldn't call it high pitched. He has a monotone low voice, and I think he puts on that voice for the videos. I can't imagine he talks like that all the time. Cover your eyes, kids. Yeah. We'll move on from that. But that music video a lot of children watched. And his demographic is children. Or, young people, millennials too. I guess me as well. Jeez. How do I segue this? Do I even want to play this? This is silly. This is not even important, guys. But we're talking about the Bird app, Twitter. And there was another person, and I've talked about this a little bit, the chirp of the smoke alarm. The curse of the chirp of the smoke alarm. What's up with this? Shout out to Jesse's show today. It was guest hosted by James Hassan, a little bit of me in there. Took some calls, but we were playing replays of Jesse's old shows. And one particular one was about black employees and how they're difficult to work with. And Jesse was putting the question out there. He's like, why does it seem like black people can't seem to maintain things as well as white people do? And he's just asking questions. He's like wondering, why is it that? And he's, of course, I'm sure you're aware, Jesse, he had his janitorial service, for example, and he hired black people. He said they would give him the most issues. They wouldn't work well. They'd give him attitude. You couldn't criticize them. Sounds like someone I know. Look, anybody relate? I've seen it. But he was talking about that. This kind of fits that a little bit, right? The chirp of the smoke alarm, if you don't know what I'm talking about, when your battery for your smoke alarm is low, it makes a little chirp to indicate it's time to change the battery. And I've made this little joke before where it's like it seems like black people won't change the smoke alarm batteries. It doesn't matter the amount of money they have. I played that clip of a fighter showing off his very expensive watches. We're talking a lot of money on that table. And in the middle of him showing off his very expensive watches, oh, this one's an Audemars. Beep. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Jesse was asking the question that he had callers on his show at that time disagreeing with him, and then you guys won't even change the smoke alarm batteries. You're proving him right. That's called maintaining things. And I'm not like the best maintainer here, but it's funny. It's true. There's this guy here. There's some old news too that I never got to. How one man's $2.2 million payout was overshadowed by his smoke alarm chirping in the background. Okay, this is a there was a test. Okay, New York City had a test for teachers. Okay, and this is a test to be a teacher. Whites passed this test at a higher rate than minorities. That's the story. And now the city is paying out the failed applicants due to some racism, right? It was racist. They failed the test at a higher rate than whites, so obviously it had to be racist. That evil assumption that people have, for example, higher incarceration. So it's racism. It defies all logic, that assumption of racism. So one woman failed 10 times, and when she heard about this lawsuit, she felt vindicated. Okay, so there's people who heard about this lawsuit. One such person is Herman Grimm, who was awarded $2 million because black people failed this test, this national teacher examination, more often than other races. Okay? And, maybe it's confirmation bias, but I talked about the curse of the chirp once, and now the algorithms are feeding me all the chirps. They want me to be offensive and racist. This is the algorithm making me do this, guys. Okay, I have to present it. Like, it's not me. I didn't want to do this. The algorithm did this. Don't blame me. Blame the algorithm.
They knew I wasn't taking them serious. Because
wait, I'm sorry, I gotta play that again because he literally starts off the video with saying nobody wants to take me seriously. Wait, hold on.
And they knew I wasn't taking them serious because I just wasn't taking them serious. You know why? Would you send me letters and tell me about lawsuit? Because I know a lawsuit either they go through or they won't go through. From reading, hearing news, and all that stuff.
What?
And I know a couple of people that had.
What do you say?
Well, not in education, but they went through lawsuits and they didn't win or anything like that. So to me, it's just like fabric. But
what the?
When I finally got it in my head, they kept pushing and kept explaining things piece by piece until I started getting it in my head and just listened to them, and it went from there.
Okay.
But still today, I don't really believe it. But yes, they were still on the phone for a long time trying to convince me that it's real, it's no game, it's no, fouls, falsehood, and all that stuff. But
what? Is anybody understanding a single word he's saying?
No.
The video gets super loud here for some reason, and so we'll just move on. I think that was a teacher, y'all. He's mumbling like I mumble. Any mumblers out there? We got any mumblers out there? The thing about mumblers is we don't know when we're mumbling. We sound normal to ourselves. We sound totally normal to ourselves, and we don't know. That's why I yell now. I didn't know I was a mumbler until Jesse was on me about that. Every now and then I'll mumble. Every now and then, okay? I'm a mostly not mumbler. Don't judge me. He talking Ebonics. I don't know, guys. I couldn't understand what he was saying there. This must be a joke, says Carlota. Well, we're joking about it, that's for sure. Ivana in the chat, she has the transcript for us in the chat. Let me read it out. Nick, he said, well, don't nobody talk me serious. Chirp. Fuss, beep. They wanna atabi. Thank you for the transcript there, Ivana. We did. We definitely needed that. We needed that. But that's the chirp. A little bit of a callback to Jesse's thing on the employees and maintaining things. The maintainers. Who are the maintainers? And there was a lot of people in the chat during that replay. Some people saying they get right into I guess like IQ and race and stuff. which I don't deny that there's, for example, differences of IQ in the races, okay? I don't deny that. But how can you watch Jesse and him talk about how blacks used to be? That's why Jesse's like, he talks about how blacks used to be, right? And he says they were just better workers. They maintained. They were the maintainers. They were maintainers of their communities. And so I find that a very powerful testimony of that time. It needs to be immortalized. People need to know. Because it's easy kind of to go to IQ and all that, as real as it may be. Because there was blacks who were maintainers. Where are the maintainers? You know, some might say, well, it's the whites. And that's a true statement, but I think it's because they hold, and I heard someone say this. I like how it's put. Basically, they're Christian, but they hold the cross nearest to their heart. That's why they hated, in my opinion. And that's why they're blessed to be maintainers. Okay? Moral character makes a bigger difference than IQ, says Carver. I have to say I have not been convinced otherwise. And more and more I see that to be true. Okay? Now it's a different thing when you're competing and all that, but that's a different story. Okay? I got some super chats here. Appreciate the support from Danimal. Says, Nick, my last couple Streamlabs failed. We got to support real men. Appreciate your work, bro. I'm a mumble to drive's wifey mad. Haha. Are you saying you're going to mumble to annoy your wife? Funny. Yes, based. Annoy your wife. Annoy her and then make her laugh. Up and down. Anyways, I don't know. I'm trying to give you some riz. Birdie Bound Brian with the hello super chat. Thank you for that. But yeah, Streamlabs failing. You know, you can try and find my Streamlabs. I keep trying to post the link, but Streamlabs is really weird for me lately. I used to have the link that, 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎, but that required me to have like a subscription with Streamlabs and all that, and that ended one day. And so I was using a different link they give you. Anyways, I've repurchased everything, and now neither link works. And people tell me they have issues super chatting for Jesse on Streamlabs. And honestly, I'm done with Streamlabs. I'm starting to think buy me a coffee might be the way to go. You know what I mean? That's funny. Birdie Bound Brian says that super chat where he says hello. It's an impression of my family's church we used to go to as a kid. Everybody would fall asleep. I said this story a while ago. We had this pastor who was so funny. He was this little like Latino guy. Maybe just a little squished Latino guy. You know those like little squished Latinos? Like every part of them is like squished down. And he knew people would be falling asleep because every now and then he'd be like, hello, hello. Oh, yes. Amen. 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 Hello. Everybody's falling asleep. I forgot to change my Streamlabs battery. Nick, he blat. That's probably what happened. But anyways, thanks for the support there on YouTube. We might have to get the buy me a coffee going big time. Because it seems to be a little bit more, it seems to be more reliable, honestly. Either way, your support is much appreciated. Some of you have been getting served ads. I got ads playing on my, what the? Look at me, mama. Look at me go, ma. I got ads on my channel. So you can just support me by watching one of those, I guess. Turn off your ad blocker when you're watching people you like and you want to support. Just a little tip. Buy me a coffee takes the least, according to Hake. Don't think Streamlabs takes money, but PayPal and the credit card companies do. YouTube takes the most. Yeah, it's true. It's true, but I do appreciate your support. Let me move on here. We got some more random stuff to get into, some White History Month stuff. Speaking of White History Month, actually, I was going to comment on that same Josh Lacash tweet that Hake responded to on his show today. There was someone who tweeted a review of the movie Barbie, which I've not seen, or Oppenheimer. And that was like a double feature over the weekend. I was like, oh, which one are you going to watch? Which are you going to watch first? I didn't watch them. I'm really not that interested. But I want to see who said it first. Let me pull up my Twitter. Or do I say X now? Let me pull up my X. What do you say? But I had this like notion, this impression and notion, because I saw the conservative insta-hating the Barbie movie. And I had this like impression. And I had not seen the movie, and it was totally like, so I made it up. Like, I don't know where I was getting this from, but I had this feeling that Barbie was the only movie out, at least that was getting a lot of attention, where it's white people doing their thing. Just a white boy looking for a place to do his thing. And the conservatives went insta-hate on it. But it's like the only like white movie. It's like white people doing white things. Yeah, I believe there was an Asian diversity hire and a black diversity character in the movie. But anyways, like I said, yeah, I did tweet this before. July 20th, let me pull it up. You can follow me on Twitter, Gorgonzola, Gorgonzhola. It's like the cheese, but it says hola at the end. Gorgonzola on Twitter. So here is the proof. The street cred. Give me the street cred, guys. July 22nd. I tweeted this, I had the feeling it's white people doing their thing. And there was a tweet that Hake commented on. It was a review of the movie. And you already heard it. I don't need to go that deep into it. But it was Josh 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𒔔, whatever, saying why Barbie was good and Ben Shapiro got it all wrong. If you remember, I don't know if you know, but Ben Shapiro put out, what did he put out? He put out a video, and the title is something like Ben Shapiro destroys Barbie, which is a meme, and I don't blame him for that, because that's kind of like the Ben Shapiro brand, the Ben Shapiro Daily Wire brand. They got super famous on YouTube with those videos that says, Ben Shapiro destroys liberal college student, destroys liberal feminist, destroys this or that person. And so right on, go with your brand, Ben Shapiro. I'm not going to meme you that hard for going with the title. You're just going, but look at the title. It says, Ben Shapiro destroys Barbie for 43 minutes. And it was like some post where it was a post of Ben Shapiro, and he was standing outside of the theater, and he basically tweeted a photo of him, to tell us, hey, guys, I just watched this video. Get ready for when my video drops. But the funny thing is he's standing outside of the theater holding a piece of what looks like a notebook, which is, I find that very interesting. I'd find that funny. I find it quite funny to imagine Ben Shapiro going to this movie and just writing furiously, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get it for that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna totally destroy Barbie. Maybe I'm being a little, what's it called? Anyways, so back to what I was saying. Josh 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𒔔 and his review here that Hake already commented on, but I'll just mention it a little bit here. He's saying Ben Shapiro got it all wrong. The movie cares about aesthetics and beauty. It's a white thing. He made this comment on how they made like a joke on how Mattel, the Barbie company, didn't really care about the woke stuff that they pretend to care about. Very meta, very self-referential. So, and they made the women, according to some of these reviews, they made the women look, because apparently basically Ken takes over. Okay, spoiler alert. If you haven't watched it, I'm giving you a big spoiler. Basically Ken takes, so the Barbies rule, and then Ken takes over. Okay, Ken, spoiler alert, okay, I'm telling you the movie. But basically, Ken takes over. He sees he gets like he gets a taste of masculinity. I'll leave it at that. And then he says, you know what? Men are supposed to lead. And he goes back, super base, takes over the Barbie land. And then the Barbies come back and they take it back. But they make the Barbies look annoying. Okay? So shout out to white people doing their thing. And just a fun movie, what it looks like. I swear I had something else on this. Hold up. You know, I heard Hassan say Ryan Gosling was a good actor, a great actor. And I've seen him in what? I saw him in, was it Drive? I saw him in Drive and in Blade Runner. And I like him. I don't know why I like him, but I like him. There's just something cool about him, I guess. But he seems like the same in all the movies. I don't know if I'd say that he's an amazing actor. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but he seems like, he always has like this face where it's like, I'm trying to do it right now. I can't do it, but basically I can't tell if he's smiling, if he's sad, if he's impressed, if he's a little peeved. I can never tell. And I kind of like that about him. I kind of like that he's like ambiguous acting. It's like no acting is the best acting. How does he feel? What is he thinking? But yeah. Anyways, go watch your movies, I guess. Oh yeah, it was this little thing I wanted to comment on, I guess. Because we got the conservative ladies out here railing against this woke garbage. This is woke garbage, and I would never let my daughter watch this. Representative Matt Gaetz' wife calls for Barbie boycott. Okay, you know Matt Gaetz, Republican, firebrand conservative. And his wife is saying, don't watch it because it's disappointing feminine empowerment. Okay, Ginger Gaetz is her name. Ginger, we love Ginger. Ginger Gaetz. This is the part that I had to comment on, okay? She says, she calls the Barbie movie disappointing feminine empowerment. And she says that Barbies used to be, hold on. Whoa. Hold up, my computer just, what did she say about Barbie? Hold on, guys, I got it right here. She said basically that for her, growing up, Barbie meant something else. Okay. Oh, yeah, here it is. The Barbie I grew up with was a representation of limitless possibilities and embracing diverse careers and feminine empowerment. Wait, hold up. Back it up. I know we're having fun. The conservatives are out here. Get Barbie. We're anti-woke. But we gotta reel some of these people in. Mainly the women, mainly your wife, Matt Gaetz. You got to reel her in a little bit. She's saying, Barbie I grew up with was a representation of limitless possibilities, embracing diverse careers and feminine empowerment. That is literally the opposite of conservatism, Christianity, a stable society. It is the exact opposite. You got to reel these, hey, oh, I'm a conservative wife. No. I don't care if you're Matt Gaetz' wife. You got to get reeled in. Now she says, oh, it neglects to address any faith or family. That's nice, okay? But if that's the Barbie you grew up with, then it's time to ban Barbie. Okay? It's time to say goodbye to Barbie. If the Barbie you grew up was limitless possibilities, embracing diverse careers, feminine empowerment, can Barbie just be playing house? You know what I mean? Like playing house, like wife, like cooking, like at home, like children, like what's this about diverse careers? Because I guess what she's referring to is there was a Barbie for the different jobs, right? Let me see if I can even Google this. I'm doing my Googles. I bet you back then, and this is me speculating, when you say diverse careers, it's like, yeah, you could get the chef Barbie and I don't know, hairstylist Barbie. But I feel like they might be coming out with girl boss Barbies. CEO Barbie. Whoa, hold up, calm down. Female preacher Barbie. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the Barbie you grew up with, Ginger, that's enough. You can go sit down. Let Matt Gaetz talk. Matt Gaetz, tell her to be quiet, please. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Please tell her to be quiet. It's not looking good. Anyways. Barbie is getting attacked about how man-hating it is. Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I won't even comment. Never mind. Let me move on here. Speaking of white history, I guess, this will be a little segue here. Let me see if I can stretch this segue here. Speaking of white history, let me show you some amazing stonework. Okay? Chiseling statues out of marble. Stonework. Masterpieces. Carvings. The greatest sculptures ever sculpted, ever. Were by white people. Maybe some Italians, okay? Okay, maybe they're Italian, okay? Like, if you wanna split some, maybe there's some pretty significant hairs. I won't, but if you wanna, look, white people, you guys need all the help you can get. Accept them in. Accept the Italians in. But we got some examples of the greatest sculptures ever sculpted, okay? And there was this thread here I found fascinating because there is a technique, a long-lost technique, a very difficult technique in sculpting stone, which is how to make a veil look translucent. How to make a veil, you know, a veil that covers your face. How to make it look translucent. Let me show you a couple examples of great white art during White History Month here. 10 examples particularly. Let me pull it up right here. Of sculptures featuring this very technique where the veil looks translucent enough. It's almost like it's an actual veil. And you still see the face behind the veil. It's quite fascinating. Very skilled. Beauty, aesthetics. Just like the Barbie movie. Beauty, aesthetics. Important. It seems like we live in an ugly world. Which one came first, the ugly world or the ugly people? Obviously the ugly people. So representation society is a mirror. So our ugly world is really a mirror to ourselves. Let's look at a little bit of a prettier world. As you can see, here's an example on the screen right now. Hold on. Hey, pull up my show here so I can comment on it. The Sleep of Sorrow and the Dream of Joy by Raphael Monti. 1861, that is what you are laying your eyes on right now. Raphael Monti. Italian artist, Italian sculptor, okay? Born in Milan. As you can see, that is all stone. Or, I don't know if this is a specific type of stone or something, but it's kind of amazing, no? That's like a veil. It's like you can almost see through that. It's pretty amazing. It's beautiful. Here's the Veiled Christ, which is an interesting name for this next. Oh, wait, hold on. My apologies, chat. Let us scroll down. This is, in fact, The Sleep of Sorrow and Dream of Joy by Raphael Monti, 1861. You see the veil there? Pretty amazing. It almost looks like you could peel that off, the sculpture. This next one is, oh, Lord. Computer. You would think it would just work for me. Veiled Christ by Giuseppe San Martino. The Veiled Christ. Let us gander at the Veiled Christ. Here it is. Veiled Christ, Giuseppe San Martino, 1753. Incredible work, really. We're really just appreciating some of these amazing white sculptures. Okay, maybe some might not say white. Italian, whatever. Modesty by Antonio Corradini, 1752. It almost looks like you could peel that right off. That's all sculpted out of stone. The veiled bust of Queen, this is a nice one. The veiled bust of Queen Isabel II, Camillo Torreggiani. Torreggiani. Oh, darn. No, the nudity was covered by the veil. Some of you are saying, nudity, this is a family show. Hold on. No. Relax. There's no real, no, calm down. Calm down, clowns. Where was I? The veiled bust of Queen Isabel II, Camillo. The veiled Vestal, Raphael Monti, another Monti. What's a Vestal? Vestal. What that is? Vestal, what that is? Relating to the Roman goddess of Vesta. Obviously, a Vestal temple or a Vestal virgin, according to Google. Amazing. Shout out White History Month. Okay. Veiled Rebecca. Giovanni Maria Benzoni. Or Benzoni. It's just incredible work. Long lost techniques. Giovanni Strazza. The Veiled Virgin. The Veiled Woman. Antonio Corradini. Okay, maybe they're all Italian. The Veiled Lady, Pietro Rossi. Anyways, and this is the last one. Undine Rising from the Waters. Chauncey Bradley Ives. Okay, hold on. We got a maybe not Italian name. Chauncey Bradley Ives, American sculptor. This is Undine Rising from the Waters, 1880. See? We got an American in the mix. Let's go. So that's a little shout out to this amazing work that I saw. I found this beautiful, aesthetically beautiful and pleasing, and a great attention to detail. Great attention to detail, a expression of skill that was built over time and maintained. Ooh, got the buzzwords going. See, it all fits. It's all thematically consistent. The maintaining of their craft to such a height where they may produce beautiful pieces of art, right? It's so beautiful, says Kevin Howe. Thank you. Thank you to them. What museum are those in? I don't know, Hake. I have no clue. 5,000 years from now, they're going to be looking at questionable marble of Ivana. Doom Jesus is so amazed. Doom Jesus in the chat is so amazed by this art that he's turned black. He's become black all of a sudden. That's unlike you. Right on. Right on. So that's a little white history, a little Barbie, a little this, a little that. Amazing stuff here. Stone veils. Incredible. Have you been doing your Googles, y'all? Have you been doing your Googles? Have you been doing your niggles? What the heck is a niggle? My niggle. And I'm not saying the N-word. I'm really not. Okay? I'm talking about our new website. I'm talking about myniggle.com. It's a new place where you could do your Googles. This is a website put forth by the Owen Benjamin. You know Owen Benjamin. The Bears. Shout out to the Bears. Owen Benjamin, previous guest at the men's conference, doing his thing. Unauthorized TV. He made this website it's called myniggle.com. And basically what it is, if I may describe it briefly, it's basically a search engine for all of Owen Benjamin's previous videos. And so I am shouting it out, like you can check it out. It is a paid service. Well, it's not that it's a paid service. You got to subscribe to UATV, which is where you can catch his show. Shout out to the Bears. But can anyone do this for Jesse? Anybody in the chat? Anybody know how to do this? Does anybody know how to make this happen for Jesse? Whoa, Nick off the rails right now. Nicholas on thin ice. I'm not saying the word, guys. I'm talking about this website. And like I described, it's taken, I don't know exactly how it works, but basically Owen Benjamin has a lot of content, a lot of videos. You could, I believe it's like a search search engine. It's a search engine for all his previous shows. Can we get that for Jesse? Anybody know how to do that? Hake better disavow this. Because that would be cool if you could email me, radio@JesseLeePeterson.com. I would love to set something like this up. Because Jesse needs to be immortalized. I always imagine Jesse's show, you know what a number station is? Like those World War II military number stations that are like 24/7 putting out a code that only the intended receiver is meant to understand. It's usually, I could probably even find an example of what I'm talking about. But a number station, okay? It's a radio station operating on unconventional, frequencies. And they were used back in the day, maybe still used. Let's see if I can pull up an example. The Lincolnshire Poster. Oh, sorry. Random audio is from the ads that are just playing. But basically, these stations would just put out the number, put out a coded message, okay, if you're following me. I always imagine Jesse, we take all of his content, old stuff, the new stuff, should he ever, retire, which he won't. He'll do it forever. We'll have his videos and or just the audio of it just blasting out into the world at 24/7, every day of the year, right? And only for the intended receiver. It'll be in plain English, but obviously just like the word, just like a parable, only the intended recipient will understand. But always pumping out that content. Jesse needs to be immortalized. People won't remember that there used to be black maintainers of the society, black maintainers of their communities. People won't remember that. And so I would love to set that up for Jesse. Hit me up I'm going to do my research. I'm going to do my Googles. Shout out to the black maintainers, right on Hake. I'm going to do my Googles, maybe do some of my niggles. I'll figure out how to do it, but if you can help me out how, hit me up, radio@JesseLeePeterson.com. It'd be cool to set that up. Just blast the Tony and Mays calls, whatever. Like, we're talking about real life. But those are great calls. We love Mays. We love Earl. Okay, that was just some audio of an example of a number station, I guess. But what was that? What was I talking about here? Where was I? Oh yeah, my niggle, myniggle.com. Shout out to the Bears. Speaking of old archived content and old videos and stuff that's cool, I came across this. This is White History Month. Hey, let's shout out another white legend, Rush Limbaugh. Came across this clip shared by Maze. Interestingly enough, this Twitter account it goes by Maze, M-A-Z-E. And this was over 30 years ago. It's about the climate stuff, climate change. I believe it's, who's this guy? Rush Limbaugh versus, is this Gore? Hold on. My computer is being slow. Senator Al Gore, Rush Limbaugh versus Al Gore. I know many of you know Rush Limbaugh very well, much more than I. I got into Trump 2016. Rush Limbaugh is someone I don't know very well, but I've been amazed by everything I've watched. And the more I watch, the more I check out Rush Limbaugh's stuff. I was watching a full episode the other day. The more I realize why he was such a legend. Rush Limbaugh versus Al Gore. A little bit of archived content. Let's check it out. Play that beautiful footage. Come on. X, this is your X? This is X.com? This is your Twitter? Elon Musk, fix your website. Let's go.
Regional problems like acid rain.
It's about climate change about 30 years ago.
Got local environmental problems, regional problems like acid rain. Now we've got a whole new category of global or strategic problems, which include the hole in the ozone layer, which now could appear above the United States, global climate change, the destruction of the rainforest at a rate that means they'll be totally gone in another few decades unless we stop, the pollution of the oceans and the atmosphere, and the like. These represent brand new challenges that call for a new kind of response.
Rush, I've listened to you many afternoons, as you know, and you tend to, I don't want to say you
Rush
dismiss
Limbaugh.
all of these issues, but at least you dismiss them as having been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Well, absolutely. I don't think that there's anything conclusive about what Senator Gore said, with all due respect. I think, for example, there is no ozone hole over the United States.
I never heard that before. I grew up being told that there's ozone layer and there's this ozone layer and that we burned a hole in it and that the hole's over America because us Americans. I grew up being told that. Nick, you so blat right now. What do you mean, amazing camel jockey? But I grew up being told that about the ozone layer.
About what Senator Gore said, with all due respect. I think, for example, there is no ozone hole over the United States. And if we want to get into detailed discussion of ozone depletion, we can. But I think, Ted, that there is not a crisis. See, this is the problem I have. I don't think the Earth is fragile. I don't think the ecology is fragilely balanced. And I think that the doomsday industry that is typified by members of the Hollywood acting community who say we've only got 10 years left to save our planet, we've got to act now. There's no way, if what these people say is true, that we can solve these problems in 10 years anyway. It's budget time in Washington. NASA's being cut. And I think that this fright and doom scenario is designed to frighten people. Everything in this country today seems to be a crisis. We can't do anything without it being having to face it as a crisis. We don't have any time to think about it. There are as many scientists, maybe even more, on the opposite side of all of these doomsday predictions, and I think that they need to be listened to. Yeah, oh yes, there are.
That's not true. If I can jump in there, Ted, where the ozone hole is concerned, for example, the linkage between these chemicals, chlorofluorocarbons, and the ozone hole is established. There may be 1/100th of 1% of the scientific community that disputes it.
Oh, no. It's far more than that. Ted, that the environmental movement, as fueled by the militants who lead it, I think is the new home of socialism.
The ozone hole is threatening to open up above North America, above Kennebunkport, and still we're not reacting.
So did that hole ever open? Or are they talking about a portal to hell? Because that's already been open, I can tell you that much. That's been open. What does Al Gore look like today? Al Gore, 30 years ago. They're calling him Doomsday Gore. That's not what Trump would say. I need to alliterate. If I'm going to make up a name that Trump would say, it needs to be a little snappier. It needs to roll off the tongue a little better. They're calling him Gory Gore. They're calling him, I'm not calling him that. They're calling him that. They're calling him I Love Gore. I don't know, guys. I tried. So this is apparently what it looks like today, huh? 30 years. 30 years changes you. Still looking, I don't know how recent these photos are, but he's looking, he's what? We're talking what, Norwood 3? What are we saying, chat? Is this a Norwood 2 or a Norwood 3? I'd say a Norwood 3. Yeah, I would call this like a Norwood 3. Maybe a Norwood 3A, or like a Norwood 3A. Norwood, give me in the chat, what Norwood do you think this is? Norwood is if you don't know, Norwood is the scale of hair loss, okay? Norwood 0, meaning you have the hair, you got a young boy's hair, or you got Norwood 5, you're bald. We're talking about male pattern baldness. He looking heavier on the bottom of his face, fair enough. I think we're talking, hey, if this is, we can only dream to have the Norwood Al Gore has. And don't be gored by the bull. We could only dream to have this level of Norwood at this age, right? Jordan DeNicker says 2, but it's lopsided. Exactly. The lopsidedness makes me think. The lopsidedness to his Norwood 2 makes me think it's more like a Norwood 3A, meaning he's got, what do they call this in English? I learned how they call it in Spanish. Okay, my mouse is pointing to where he has a little bit more hair loss. What's it called when you have the hair? There, let me switch to my camera. What's it called? What's this called? Your temples? What's this called? When your hair starts, when you start losing the hair here and the hair starts going, it starts receding over here. You see where I'm pointing, chat? In Spanish, that's called entradas. Entries. I learned that recently. When you start, this is your entradas. And when you start getting that, you got to be like a Norwood 3A. So that's my opinion here. That's your widow's peak. Okay, thank you. That's just my opinion here, okay? We're talking about the important things here. Norwood. Norwood, apparently. But yeah, shout out Rush Limbaugh and White History Month and legendary clips. Can you see similarities today? It's a doomsday cult. It's a doomsday. It really is. It really is. It has to be doomsday for the government to do something. And they'll tell you it's doomsday. We got to ban WeChat. We got to ban WeChat or we got to ban TikTok or we're going to be spied on by the Chi-Coms. And going around doing the very same thing. It's just a fight for control and your attention and your money. It's been pharaohs and kings since it's always been pharaohs and kings. And it continues to be pharaohs, kings, and, the U.S. government, I guess, now. Right on. Right on. Okay, it's called male pattern baldness, says David C. Yeah, I'm talking about the Norwood scale of male pattern baldness. Oh, Al Gore is Anchor Baby? Well, there's your problem. There's your problem. Someone called Hake Report today, and they were on hold, and I gave them a little bit of trouble. It was funny. They said he wanted to get rid of birthright citizenship, and so I said to him, "But that's going to get rid of anchor babies." Shout out to you, man. I was just messing with you, right? And he was like, but you're going to get rid of anchor babies. And he's like, oh, well, no. I mean, I'm like, just kidding, bro. Let's get rid of them. No more anchor babies. Build a wall. Birthright citizenship and retroactively get rid of, let's retroactively get rid of these anchor baby citizenships that they got by abusing the 14th Amendment. Am I right? And then let the true Americans decide what they want to do with this. Let them choose. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on here. Let us move on here. To what? What shall we do next? Well, I got a call here. I got Frederick, L.A. How you doing, Frederick? Welcome to the show.
How's it going today? You well?
All is well, man. Thank you for that. No complaints here.
All right. All is well. All is well.
Oh, yeah.
Are you paying attention to what's going on over in Israel? I heard you say
a little bit.
Somebody summoned. First of all, I heard you say pharaohs and kings, and I was summoned. So
I knew you were. I knew you'd be. But I'm not talking about you or whatever you're into. I'm just saying that, we like to think we're free and we're a democracy and the power's in the people, but it looks like it's always been pharaohs and kings.
Let God cook, man. Come on, man.
Let God cook?
Yeah.
Let God cook.
Right there. Yeah, he's still mixing it up. Right now, it just now started brewing.
Well, I've heard a little bit about this Israel stuff, and I think I heard Hake News mention it as well.
About Benjamin?
About Benjamin Netanyahu. There's a controversial judicial overhaul. What do you think about all this?
Yeah,
can I at least tell the chat a little bit about what's going on? Basically, Benjamin Netanyahu, Israeli prime minister, okay? They introduced a judicial overhaul plan. It would allow Netanyahu and the members of parliament to void any Supreme Court decision they deem unreasonable. Okay, they have a Supreme Court in Israel, and they have a they checks and balances, not unlike our Supreme Court, and he's saying okay, with this overhaul, if the Supreme Court does something that we deem unreasonable, we could just veto it, which is pretty what's it called? Significant change in power. Would you agree?
Yeah, they had 120 members vote on it, and it was split straight down the middle, like 64 to, like, there was a couple votes short. It's like just like Republicans and Democrats over
right.
Here. So just because they had more in office, they don't rehaul the whole system where all the elections are going to be rigged from now on. He's trying to be a dictator.
Over there in Israel. So you don't like that he's doing this?
Hey, I don't feel either way about it.
But you called him a dictator. You called him a wannabe dictator.
He's about to go to war with Iran. He can be a dictator, but he's demising his own countries. And
you also called it a steal.
It was.
And rigging, so you don't necessarily agree with him. Because you do this thing, Frederick, and I appreciate your calls, I do. But you do this thing where you'll comment on something, but then your opinion, when we get to the part where it's your opinion, you're just like, that's just God's plan. But we all know you have an opinion.
It seems to be going in line with God's plan. I'm thinking, you want me to make a prediction?
Not a prediction. I'm just saying this. You don't have to predict anything. What's going on right now with him wanting to void any Supreme Court decisions? You think that's bad or good?
I think it's good that people are standing up. They out there protesting, they're doing the right thing. People are waking up, and they seeing the evil going on. I'm glad that they didn't get 90 votes for the thing.
That makes me suspect that this, in fact, might be a pretty base move by Bibi Netanyahu. If you don't quite agree with it, and the media doesn't agree with it, and we got, excited, emotional protesting about it, it's starting to make me think that this might be pretty based.
Okay.
But I don't know Israeli politics and stuff. I personally don't. I don't know what's going on over there.
They got a big sexual human trafficking ring over there. I know that. And they be
How do you know that?
Palestinians, because it's documented.
Where?
In the news.
I'm not denying it, but you can't just say I have to at least wonder where you're getting it from.
Look up Al Jazeera News.
Al Jazeera about what?
Sex
about
trafficking in Israel.
Okay. And so what's your point about that?
Sex trafficking in Israel.
There's sex trafficking all around the world. It's not good.
Who's doing it?
It's probably bad in it. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just trying to understand the point here.
Y'all don't ever get outraged at the stuff that goes on.
I don't like that.
Get outraged about going on.
But I don't want to be outraged about anything. I'm done. Did I say sex trafficking was good in Israel? This is not a sex trafficking for thee and not for me situation. I disavow it in Israel and anywhere. How about that?
Yeah, but you're still for Israel.
But why do you say that? How do you know? Who are you talking to right now? Are you talking to a random person? Are you talking to or are you aware you're calling the American anchor baby?
I know I'm calling the anchor baby.
Because then why are you saying you support Israel? When have I ever been? You're making it sound like it just seems like you're talking to someone else. When have I ever come out and shown my, I support Israel? When have I ever done that?
We would be agreeing that what Benjamin Netanyahu and his court system, instead of you thinking it's doing the right thing, if I disagree with it.
I didn't make a decision like you did.
We're not agreeing.
I didn't make a decision about it like you did. I said I suspect it sounds pretty based if people like you and the protesters and the media are against it. It makes me suspect that it's based. I didn't make it. That's literally what I said. Is that not literally the words I used? So where in that is it? Where in those words that I used is me making a decision about it? Where in those words is me making a decision?
Letting it play out. Okay, let me put you on the hot seat.
Okay.
I answered you when you asked me. Then you come to say, "Well, it's in God's plan." Well, what do you think?
Well, in this very case, I don't have an opinion. I really don't. That's my answer.
But you can hear me having an opinion on it.
And you did, and you revealed it, and I was right about you.
But no, I said I'm thinking my plans are aligned with God, and I can understand why it's happening. Is why I said I don't feel either other way. But at the same time,
I don't want to get lost in the weeds with this. I don't want to. No, it's not biased. I don't want to get lost in the weeds with this, Frederick. You're allowed to not have an opinion. I didn't say you're not allowed to have one. You could leave it as an I don't know. It's just that we could tell that you haven't left it as an I don't know, and we could tell that you're on the side of the people who are protesting. Are you or not? Didn't you reveal that already?
You're assuming.
My bad. Are you on? But you already told me you're on their side.
No,
my point is I don't want to get lost in the weeds here, and I don't want to make it sound like you're not allowed to not have an opinion. You can leave it as an I don't know, and I will respect that. That is a totally allowed position to have.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't know. I'm saying
I'm saying I don't know because I don't know I don't know Israeli politics and stuff like that. They're saying they want to get rid of they're saying they want to give more power to, I guess, Netanyahu over the Supreme Court. I don't know what to think about that. Sometimes I think we should, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we had a true Christian leader, really good, buy with the Supreme Court. Total, complete control.
No.
But, hey, maybe that's why I'm not the one making the laws, right?
Look at our Supreme justices. We got Clarence Thomas striking down affirmative action at the same time taking $150,000 from Republican donors to put his nephew through college. That's worse than affirmative action.
Wait, help me understand. Wait, what's the connection here? I don't know what we're talking about. He took $150,000 from donors to put his kid in what?
Through college, yes.
Okay.
Vacation.
What does that have to do with affirmative action? You just described to me.
Not getting in on their own merit.
This is the point here. This is amazing. This is why I like this. This is amazing. This is amazing. How quickly you could throw logic out the window when I don't know, you have like a gripe against the Supreme Court in America or something. Let me demonstrate this for you, chat. Let me demonstrate this for you, chat, because he's saying Clarence Thomas got $150,000 from Republican donors. You go and do your homework. I can't confirm that. I'll believe you because you said it. I'll believe you because you said it. Let me just demonstrate this, Frederick. And then you saying that's affirmative action for his kids?
I said it's worse.
How did you make that connection?
Affirmative action. It's a free ride.
Oh, so now it's a form of affirmative action.
It's worse. You're not hearing me. Worse.
Oh, sorry, worse. And how is it
worse?
So it's not affirmative action. It's something different, but it's worse than affirmative action.
He didn't even get a scholarship. He didn't have to be black. He got a full ride just for being.
But you see how you went away from calling it affirmative action, and now you're calling it something worse.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm listening.
I said it's worse because Clarence Thomas struck down. He's saying affirmative action is not fair.
Okay.
So it's fair for a Republican to pay for a justice's kid to go to school, but you can't go to a school because you're a minority.
But affirmative action is not paying for going to school. If you have the money, you know what I mean? Affirmative action, that's not the affirmative action we're talking about.
It's not.
Affirmative action is just giving it to people who don't deserve it.
Yes, but if you
have a gripe that he's using money, and he's using his money to put his kids in better schools, then take it up with him, man.
Republican lobbyists.
Say that again?
Listen to who's paying for it. That's like somebody wanting you to change the law and say, I'll put your kid through college for you do me a favor.
Okay, but now you're just you're just adding to it. Now you're speculating.
No, that's
oh, sorry. My bad. Is that literally what happened? Yes. Republican donors said, hey, if you strike down affirmative action, we'll give you this $150,000 to put your kid through school?
No, I'm not linking it to affirmative action. No, I'm not linking. You know what lobbyists do?
I do know what lobbyists do. Commie capitalism.
They have an agenda, right?
Yeah, commie capitalism. It's people with money.
Oh my God!
Why are you saying, "Oh my God"? It's literally what it is. It's literally
commie capitalism.
It's literally commie capitalism. It's corporations and individuals with lots of money. Am I wrong here? It's individuals and corporations with lots of money affecting change in the government by lobbying them, by paying them, essentially.
Okay, now these are the people.
Why are you saying, "Oh my God"?
Who are paying for.
Oh my God.
Clarence. These are the people paying for Clarence Justice. They got an agenda We don't know what it is, and he's accepting the money and taking the trip.
But you don't know why. You're just making stuff. You're just saying that. You're just saying, okay, he got donations, and then you're just assuming this is because he got lobbied. This is because he got lobbied into doing this affirmative action thing. You know what you sound like? And
there's a whole investigation.
Okay, go ahead. You speak. Go ahead.
There's a whole investigation right now going on.
You know what you sound like?
They got a team.
Go ahead. No, finish.
Who I sound like?
You sound like those people who basically, think that Thomas Clarence can't think for himself.
Apparently,
that he only did it because of money. Maybe he really does believe affirmative action is evil, because it is.
Nah, I think they need an ethics committee. You shouldn't take no money from no lobbyists. Put your kids through school if you're in Congress, period.
Okay.
Ain't that what Donald Trump said?
I don't disagree with that.
Most conservative.
There's a lot of people lobbying and all this stuff. It's really weird.
Yeah. We're supposed to take the money out of politics, but the main people that's doing the lobbying are the Republicans taking the gift.
I can understand what you're saying. Like, there's corruption, and if we can have some transparency on where this money's going and all that. But you're still not. You haven't. It's the same over in Israel. I'm just saying money. Fair enough. That happens. You're describing things that happen. But let's get back to the meat and potatoes here. You still haven't told me how you know that Thomas Clarence was lobbied into doing this, which is, that's a specific claim you're making. Help me understand how you know this.
I'm not
saying you're wrong.
An affirmative action case. I'm saying when you accept the money, that means you in cahoots.
But you see how you're twisting it up? You're adding details that weren't there.
How?
Because you're telling me, you're saying he's receiving. This is literally the statement you made. This is how evil it is. You literally said he got 100. Are you going to let me say it or not?
Go ahead.
You're saying he got $150,000 to put his kid through school, and that he got lobbied into getting rid of affirmative action. Prove that statement. That he gets money, okay. That politicians get lobbied, that happens. That Thomas Clarence got money from Republican donors, that happens. Help me, but you see how you're not proving your statement?
All right. Who was behind introducing Trump to move the embassy? Who you say paid that money for Trump to move the embassy? Let's do our homework.
He got the bag from, who was it?
The lobby.
Who was the guy I said?
With the bag, right? No, come on.
Heck yeah, get the bag. Get the bag for America.
No.
Right on. Right on Trump.
No matter what
right on Trump. Move the embassy and get the money and use it for good. Oh, these silly people want me to move their stupid embassy? Okay, move it. Pay me the money. Yeah, I agree with it. But what was the name? I can't remember the name. I want to put it out there.
Yeah, it's not. But you see what I'm saying and what it'll lead to. Because now there's a war breaking out. Every cause has a consequences and repercussions. And we got people just paying and doing moves, not worried about what's the motive behind the money.
But you're making up motives. Sheldon Adelson, thank you. But you're making up motives. That's my point here.
No, I'm not making up motives.
Yes, you are.
No. I just see somebody lobbying Clarence Thomas.
And you haven't proven that to me yet.
I'm going to do my homework.
Thank you, sir. Do your homework, man. I would love to see it. Because I'm not disagreeing with you. I just want you to prove your statement.
But do you think they should have an ethics committee in the Supreme Court?
That doesn't sound like a bad idea. Like an ethics committee in general. What's up with all this lobbying and commie capitalism? I think we need Hake at the head of the commie capitalism ethics committee to just really handle all this.
He ain't gonna do nothing but disavow all day. No.
Right on. That's what we need. What are you gonna do? You're just gonna look at Thomas Clarence. What are you gonna do at the head of this ethics committee? You're gonna focus on. You're gonna join up with a bunch of these black haters of America. That's what you would do. You would join up with these black haters who are hating Thomas Clarence, who's a individual man who sees that affirmative action is evil, and that's what you would do.
Whatever.
So I'd rather a disavowing Hake. How about that?
Okay, let's do that. We'll just disavow him.
Frederick, man, appreciate your call. Call me again.
All right, anytime. Later.
I got Justin Fullerton, California. How you doing, man?
Hi.
Welcome. First time calling my show?
Yeah, first time call to the
That's
show.
cool, Justin. Thanks for calling, man. How you been?
Oh, well, exceptionally well. I just had a constitutional question, more of an legality.
Okay.
I know the executive order can't dictate something like this nature, but from my experience with history studies, is that it was per this 14th Amendment, like in 1866 or something, where basically the beneficiaries of birth citizenship, the right to have it, is for individuals that were of African descent, so they could then become African Americans. And I think a lot of people want to become Americans, but quite literally, can do so by just way of birth, and then there's no obligation there. They can leave that back to their country of origin, different factors. But I would think that if the people voted for a pathway to citizenship, that would be much better than just naturalization from, more naturalization than from just birthright citizenship, because that's kind of old. Nobody's slaves. You shouldn't create a second-class citizen. You should have people that want to be, part of the country.
Help me. What are you trying to say here?
So Europeans would have to come to the country if they immigrated and applied for citizenship, but because of the Africans that were slaves that became Americans because of birth, still to this day, we're allowing people with airplanes and crossing through just one particular border. Well, there's two. There's the northern and the southern, but before there was boats. However they come, but when they do arrive, we notice there's a lot of not so much like undocumented in a negative sense for, like, say, human trafficking that cartels do on their own, which is bad, but just isolating real family units. So once somebody creates a crime, the only way to absolve it is to say, well, we're having a baby. The baby then will, or our child that was born here, will then absolve us of our not sin, but like crime.
Right.
And now they can sponsor them. I don't know how it works, but that's what we call anchoring.
So help me understand here. Are you basically dubious of the way people are getting their citizenship through this method, the 14th Amendment, and being naturalized through birth? You're saying you're dubious on the legality of that?
Yeah, people can fly home just after having a baby, and the baby will be born citizen here, so then when it turns 18...
So you hate me is what you're saying?
Meanwhile, can apply green card, yeah.
So you hate me is what you're saying?
No, hate.
You hate me and people like me?
No hate at all.
I'm playing. Chat, this is who I was talking about. I had Justin on Fullerton on hold for the Hake Report. I don't know if you've heard me talking about you just not too long ago, but I was messing with Justin. I was messing with Justin. He was holding on the Hake Report, and he was talking about this. And so I said to him, "But you're trying to get rid of me? You're trying to get rid of anchor babies?" Of course, just messing with him. Of course, just messing with you, Justin. I'm in total agreement, man. Honestly, I would even go a step further, because you're saying we need to fix the birthright citizenship thing and then consider a pathway to citizenship for those that are here. Justin?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, and you know what? That might I'd go further. I'd go a little. I say this kind of tongue in cheek, but it's kind of serious. I say retroactively remove the citizenships of those who got it through birthright, and then let the people here decide what to do with it.
Yeah.
Because it was wrong. My family abused the immigration laws so that I could be an American citizen.
Well, yeah, I mean, my history's right, too. The Democrats abused it initially just because they knew that the voting, it's 2/3 of a human, so they have to have citizenship, and therefore they could become a whole vote. And so a lot of the Democrats used the position of their slaves that voted the way they wanted,
gotcha,
so they could get certain things done. But aside from politics or people breaking the law, there should be something that doesn't just go straight for absolving the issue, but kind of goes to the root of it and solidifies somebody's decision to make their roots here if they so chose to, and they don't want to just leave up and go. Great, there should be a pathway to rectify that.
And it's just not only is it a perversion of its original intention, the 14th Amendment and the slaves and all that. So already with just that, it should be just ignored. But it's created an incentive for criminals. It's created an incentive for people to pick up and come here and say, and really abandon their own country, abandon their people, their country, what's going on over there, bring their problems here, and then you know what I'm saying here. It incentivizes all this criminal behavior.
Yeah, it doesn't really make the American way how it was, where people were kind of very eager to make a new life.
Yep.
And so they came here with this desire to do so. It wasn't like they had that burden of something that was over their head, that they did something illegally. So there has to be a way that people know that if something's done, it's done. I don't believe in splitting up family units or anything.
Okay.
But I just think that there should be a way to empower the people and not let them become eventually second-class citizens.
Interesting, man. Yeah, I don't even disagree. I mean, I agree. Don't split them up. Send them all back. But yeah, man, it's definitely a mess. Definitely on birthright citizenship. That has to be dealt with like right away. I think I've heard Trump say that's something he wants to do. Like get rid of birthright citizenship. And then even beyond that, there needs to be some, I think in my opinion, some strict strict vetting and stuff. Hake in the chat is saying, and I've heard him say this on his show before, he heard it was so hard to live here that some people went back after immigrating here. Meaning like you really had to make it happen or you would fail. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
at least with that,
you would have a bit of a filter.
The farm, yeah. Now there's no farm, and there's a lot of exploitive employers that are sacrificing the wages for the American people.
Right. Yeah. Interesting, man. Yeah, at least back then there was a filter. It's like, okay, well, if you can hack it here, I know you're an immigrant, but you could make it just like the rest of us. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and that's what I think a lot of people have to have that feeling, that notion. But there is that kind of, like you say, common capitalism. So there's this kind of disabling of somebody
like Hake says,
being individualistic, and yet at the purest form, I believe Karl Marx even said it, that capitalism and communism are the same. So whether somebody is approaching some form of government with fascism or they're approaching it with some type of different viewpoint, the idea is to, I would think, evolve from what we have today, because exploitive for the worker or governments that look a blind eye while companies are doing that also exploits, and hurts.
And who said this?
Karl Marx.
Wow. So he's what you're describing is this or that political or economic system doesn't matter. There can all be stepping stones to his ultimate
at its purest form, he says, capitalism. And so
you can approach the government in any way, but your end goal can still be what Marx was talking about.
Yes, your end goal
fascinating.
leads to the same thing he's talking about, the trap.
That's pretty fascinating. I've heard Hake say, and I think he's quoting someone else, that capitalism is a stepping stone to communism.
Capitalism is a stepping stone to communism.
That's amazing, but I've never heard people say like fascism can also be a stepping stone to that. And if you think about it, that's true. You need a guiding force. Shout out Christianity. I don't know, guys.
Well, there was feudalism. There was a certain type of system of feudalism. There was other formats that had always been, or serfdom. But the whole thing in America is to be kind of above it, And so we're not first world. American is first. If we have a lot of people that are secondary coming, and their end goal is just profit off of the American title, but not really add or contribute to making what their American dream is, which will obviously put America in a better light than it is today, where you got communists running the government.
That's an interesting point too, because people say I want a better life. I'm coming to America for a better life, but I think part of that should be you're elevating yourself because you're elevating those around you and your country. You know what I mean? Like it all works together.
Being elevated that way. Yeah.
Instead of just I'm looking for a life for me. So that means more money, usually more. But it should be to elevate you, your nation, people around you. Interesting stuff, Justin. Thought-provoking. Thank you.
All right. Nice talking to you. Have a good one.
Right on. Call me again, Justin. Moving the wheels. Yep. 888-775-3773. We're just talking about stuff. Yeah. Just talking about stuff. Yep. Bibi Netanyahu. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know too much. Back to what spawned some of these calls. This stuff going on with this controversial judicial overhaul. Do we need a overhaul? All right, y'all. Let's see here. Let me make sure I'm up to date here and I have everything. I haven't missed anything. Nice. Shout out Fullerton. Yeah. What's up, Dennis 2020? Ryan Alexander, Ohio Sentinel. You guys are keeping the party going over there on Rumble. Much appreciated. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Yep. You guys are always funny in the chat. Hake says, I think I heard on Anchor Baby that the Unabomber was an atheist. Correct. He did not have a guiding principle. He just kind of freaked out at technology and oppression. Right on, right on. What else do we got here? There was this, I'm not going to do this. You guys know Mr. Beast, biggest YouTuber of all time. Huge demographic, huge, like crazy views. Well, he has that. He has like a crew around him who always kind of appear in all his videos. One member of the crew recently went trans. I talked about him. Chris. You know Chris? Chris Tyson. And I talked about him a little bit. And this guy, he went trans recently. People started noticing he was dressing differently and all that. And then he came out and said he's trans. He has a son. I believe he has a kid, maybe a daughter, and a wife whom, like, did he leave them? Yeah, ex-wife, according to Daily Mail. So take that with a grain of salt. You know, they're calling him ex-wife. This Chris person may have very well created a rift in the home by maybe leaving. I cannot confirm. But yes. Chris Tyson, Mr. Beast, he did this voice reveal. And I honestly don't even want to signal boost this. I'm moving on. But he revealed his new trans voice. It's the dumbest, silliest thing I've ever seen. Let's move on here, though. I had a couple things here. Bukele. Yeah, that's right. Salvador. Crazy stuff going on there. Salvador president wants to unite all 7 countries in Central America and create like a European Union. You know, that doesn't sound that far-fetched, though, when you consider some of the, moves. Some of the moves, the grand moves in the grand chess game of the world. Talking about Brazil, Lula. Talking about Lula da Silva. Lula Ignacio da Silva, the leftist taking control of Brazil. AMLO, the president of Mexico. Now, Nayib Bukele, president of El Salvador's president, I wouldn't say he is in major agreement with these other guys, but he's known for his infamous crackdown of MS-13 in his country. We're talking major, major crackdown. And we've seen footage of them, being made to run while, you've seen some of this footage, but he's cracking down on this gang stuff big time in the country. And it's proven to us, in my opinion, that you don't have to have crime in your country. You don't have to have gangs in your country running your cities. You don't have to do that. You really don't. So he's saying that they need a Central America to all unite in like a European Union. He's saying, what does he say? Encouraging other countries in the region, such as Honduras. Come on, it's White History Month, okay? To come together at a European Union. I think he said no borders. Yeah, the time has come for us to unite Central America with open borders or some kind of community of nations like the European Union, said Bukele. Whoa, hold on. The new generation will make it happen because the divisions created 200 years ago no longer mean anything to them. Now, I think he's referring to the divisions in the Southern and Central American nations. These divisions, some might see as arbitrary, but they're racial and ethnic and cultural. You know, Spanish colonial rule. Okay, we're talking 1820s, Mexican Empire, breakdowns, people fighting, divisions, okay? History. He wants what would you even call that? Would it be the American Union? Yeah, we're going to want to do that ourselves. We're going to want to take over this little project and do that ourselves. We got to be the first American Union. I'm joking. That sounds globalist. I don't know. But that doesn't sound that far-fetched, like that would happen in our lifetimes. A Southern America, would they just call it the American Union? But who gets to be in charge? Great question, Carver. I don't know. I would want to be the first ones to do an American Union, but I don't trust our people. They would just make it the gay American Union or something. It wouldn't be based in the truth. But that's some of what's going on there. Grand moves in the grand chess game of the world. We're just watching it. We're just here watching it all unfold. Sometimes amazing, sometimes scary. Make sure, yeah. Incredible. Speaking of divisions, what do I want to do now? You know what? Here's what we'll do. Let's play this WVTM report on this Carly Russell person. Let's get educated on the story because I even myself don't know the story that well. We got the last few minutes here of the show. It's a story that's been in the news. It's a mess. Some woman apparently was abducted, but maybe not. Maybe it was a hoax. I personally don't know the story that well. I have a link here. Silly little link with a silly little news report. Why don't we just watch this, get a little educated here on what happened, and then end off the show. How about that, guys? I do appreciate your calls and the support
of the nation.
Let's just watch this mess here and end off the show. What do you guys say? Because that's pretty much it. I don't have much else for y'all. I hope you've enjoyed the show so far. Let's get up to date. What's going on with this woman?
For the last week, it was a week ago she vanished on I-459. Carly telling police she stopped to help a child on the side of the road and then she was kidnapped. She would escape days later in West Hoover. Carly says she ran through the woods until she made it back home. That was late Saturday night.
Hoover police do not believe a child was on the side of the road at any point. Carly's call was the only report they received last week. So what's next? WVTM 13's Lisa Crane has been following this story closely for the past
Tell
week.
us, Lisa, what's going on?
In Hoover this evening with an interesting perspective tonight on just about everything that we know so far.
Yeah, so many shocking details came out of that press conference yesterday. It was a lot to process, but we know police are still investigating this case. They did tell us yesterday they really couldn't corroborate any of the details Carly Russell had given them. We spoke to a Birmingham attorney today to get his take on it.
That's what I think happened.
Eric Guster spent years as a criminal defense attorney. He says, like the rest of the country, he was pulled into the Carly Russell case. He says while police didn't come out and say it at the press conference, the message was clear.
This is why you can't get pulled into anything. Okay, don't be watching these news stories and getting excited. Like, keep space between all things, people, and everything.
She said she was kidnapped and the kidnapping didn't happen.
Ooh.
Our citizens are safe. There's not a kidnapper out there. So they use every almost synonym for lie except saying she lied.
You can't call a black woman a liar on national TV. Don't you know? It's 2023.
He says the search for Carly wasted the time and money of law enforcement and concerned community members. The father of murder victim Anaya Blanchard wrote about it on his Facebook page, saying his wounds had been reopened and it wasn't okay to bring his family into the search.
Imagine going and searching for someone and they're off doing something else and they're never in danger. And you're thinking about saving this person's daughter and yours was not saved. Beyond angry, super livid, that would be me.
Guster says he worries this case could affect future missing persons cases.
It's going to be much more difficult for African American women to be believed, and it may actually.
That's funny. He just said it. This is going to make it harder for African American women to be believed.
For
yeah, it was this one. It's this one, y'all.
American women to be believed, and it may actually decrease the number of actual reports of things because people are already afraid that they won't be believed.
He says right now Carly needs an attorney to advise her on how to respond to police.
If I was Carly's attorney, I would speak for her. I would not allow her to speak to the police because anything she says can and will be used against her. I would speak for her. I would go to the mayor. I would go to the police chief and figure out if there's something we could do. That's what I would do.
Now, Guster says the police chief outlined 3 crimes that they believe Carly has committed. That's theft, lying to authorities, and filing a false police report. He says he is shocked that Carly has not been arrested on those charges. Live in Hoover, Lisa Crane.
So not arrested for this at all. She. Oh, what the? Sorry, guys. This mic just fell. And that's what that big bang was. My apologies. Any headphones users. It just fell. So here I am holding it. What a mess. Sorry about that, guys. But don't know how to fix this right now. But basically, what was I going to say? Yeah, she's not being charged. Is she facing anything at all? Is she facing any punishments at all for this? Because the thing is with some of these cases and people who are attention seeking, they get what they wanted. You know, even if they get punished or whatever, those socials blow up. Social medias will blow up. Oh, no, I don't even know how to put this thing back on. I should just hold the mic like a rock star the rest of the show. Since we're here the last few minutes. But what can I say? Is she facing anything? Like, isn't that a pretty serious lie to the authorities and all that? Or is this she didn't know no better? If the roles were reversed, if it was a white person, I don't know. I'm just joking. Okay, I think I fixed it. Hopefully it doesn't fall again. RIP headphones users. Jesse gonna be ticked. Okay? Nobody tell Jesse. We all agree here. Nobody's telling Jesse that happened. Right? I fixed it, Hake. Thanks, Mike. I was able to fix it. Nobody's gonna tell Jesse, right? It's just you. It's just I can trust you guys, right? Hey, I could trust you guys, right? Come on. I could trust you, right? You could trust me. I'm great at keeping secrets. It's the people I tell who are bad at keeping secrets. Surik says, we tellin'. Oh, we tellin'. You bunch of snitches. Didn't we just finish talking about snitches? Oh my Lord. It's just snitches in the chat. They're all snitching. I already sent a super chat for the show. Snitches in the chat. Dang. Right on, snitches. I love you guys. I appreciate you supporting me for the show, despite wanting to snitch me out to JLP. Nick gonna delete chat after stream. I'm gonna be watching all those super chats and deleting your super chats. Nick ruined company property. All right, snitches. plane passengers, viewers of Anchor Babies, and everybody else. You guys rock. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for watching the show. Catch me tomorrow for more American Anchor Baby. We're guest hosting the JLP show this week, but we still will be doing our shows, American Anchor Baby, Hake Report, and I believe we have a very, very special guest host for tomorrow on Joel Friday's show. You don't want to miss it, guys. Take care, y'all. That's the show. Much appreciated. See y'all tomorrow. Peace. JLP out till next Tuesday.